Alright gang, are we ready for an RTI? I know that today's supposed to be a ethnic food challenge, but I figured, you know what? I don't have any of the ingredients today that I would need to do an ethnic challenge, or an ethnic meal, or three, because I've been showing you guys easy, medium, and hard meals that you could make at home, and it would just kind of be too much work, and by the time I'm finished with them, we'd miss the day. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to do an RTI, since we missed our RTI this week. Today's going to be Friday RTI, so RTI session number 5, and we are going to follow the same idea that today is supposed to be, which is ethnic food, and we're just going to go ahead and draw some food in our RTI. Alright, so let's get started. You're going to need your paper, you're going to need a drawing pencil, and an eraser if you need. Also, if you've been practicing with your inking, we've done inking over the past week. If you guys want to try and do this after you're done with today's RTI, that is perfectly fine. Alright, let's start with an easy one. So turn your paper portrait or vertical, and what we're going to do is we are going to start with an oval towards the top of your paper. It might be about the size of your thumb, but we want to go ahead and make a nice oval. It's about the size of my eraser too, so it's a good reference right there. Alright, give it a pause if you need to. If not, we're moving on. Okay, coming down from our oval here, we're going to start off maybe about a centimeter or maybe one finger in from the end of our oval. We're going to start a line on both sides. So we're just going to leave a little mark there. And as you draw your line, it's going to come in like a trapezoid all the way down. And we're going to do it about the same width as the hat. So if my hat is this wide, I'm going to make my hat about that long, and it gets skinnier and skinnier as it comes down. Alright, and then on the bottom of our trapezoid shape, we're going to put a bump times 2. So now it looks like there's an M at the bottom of our tapered trapezoid there. Okay, so pause it there if you need the time to catch up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to draw some lines coming from the M. We're just going to put a couple lines spread out like that. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and put some triangles on the inside of our oval. Little small triangles. And why I'm putting these triangles is because I'm going to take my eraser and erase the lines that are on the bottom of my triangles, the flat part, because we are going to make ourselves a chef's hat. And the chef's hat isn't necessarily an oval. It's kind of bumpy like a cloud. So I just wanted to show you how to make those bumps inside the hat. So from here we can make it a little bit rounder. Connecting each one of these triangles together, we can just go ahead and make it bumpy. Okay, and we can take our eraser and remove all the random lines on the inside of our hat. Alright, so there is our hat. Right, we need something wearing the hat, so let's go ahead and add some lines to the bottom of our M to connect it. And then right underneath, we are going to continue those M's to make a complete oval. Just like that. Inside the oval, we're going to put a couple of ovals, smaller ones inside. Those are the eyes. A couple of circles up in the corner. Smaller ovals in that. Color those bad boys in. Those are the pupils. Around it we have the iris. And around that we have that white area. Alright, so now we have this chef's hat sticking out of the eyeballs. So if you need to pause it here, go ahead. Because we are moving on. Alright, so in the middle of the eyes here, we're going to draw a nice big circle. I'm using my eraser to go ahead and clean up some of those lines. So if you need some time to catch up, you can go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so now we are going to do the mouth. Alright? So the mouth is going to have the upper lip, and what I want to do with my upper lip is I want to kind of make it like an upside down M. So it kind of looks like a lip of a bear. And then on the top I am going to put a couple of curved lines to make it look like the cheeks are here. In fact, I can put the cheeks on the top of the circle to make it look like it's a big smile. Okay, if you need to catch up, you can pause the video. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to put the smile connecting here. Then we can put the tongue on the inside of the mouth, like that. I'm going to draw these hash marks, these lines going in the mouth to give it some value. Okay, and then what we're going to do next is we're going to add some detail. Okay, all right. So coming out of the eyes, we're going to have some wavy lines, and that's going to go over and over the cheeks. Wavy lines coming out of the eyes, over the cheeks. And as it comes down towards the stomach, these wavy lines are going to get wider. Okay, we're not going to go all the way around, because what I want to do is coming from the side, right underneath the cheeks, we're going to put a line coming down and in to our circle. Okay, and that line is going to cross over just like that, and then it's going to swoop down just like that. And then we're going to finish up these fuzzy lines coming into this. And what this thing is it's supposed to be an apron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side of my apron there, And I'm just going to go ahead and draw it hanging down. And I'm going to use my bottom of my circle here to tell me that that's where my apron is going to stop. Okay, so I have the apron hanging down. Alright. Now sticking out the side of our circle, we're going to put a couple of lines. That's the arms. And we're going to put a couple of feet. One feet sticking down, and maybe I'll have one feet sticking out to the side. And then the feet are going to be ovals. So we're going to go ahead and put a couple of ovals. And this oval is going to be sticking up. Just like that. Two nice long ovals for the feet. And the hand, well, one hand is going to be a circle. And then we're going to put a small oval next to that circle. So it looks like there's a fist. Okay? If you guys need a chance to catch up, you can go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, so the next step is we're going to put a rectangle inside the fist. Just like that. Just a small rectangle. And then we're going to put a skinnier rectangle coming out of that rectangle. Just like that. And then at the very top of the rectangle, we're going to put a square. Actually, we're going to put a wide rectangle. We're going to make it a little bit more rectangular than a square. Just like that. And inside there, we're going to put two skinny, or maybe even three skinny rectangles. Yeah, three skinny rectangles inside. And that's going to make our little flipper. I usually call this a spatula. My family was raised calling it a spatula. But it's not technically a flipper. Spatulas are usually those skinny metal. Kind of looks like a knife, but they usually decorate cakes with it. So there's our spatula. You guys can pause it here if you guys need the time. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the other hand, which is going to be another circle and another oval next to that. And in that hand, we can put another rectangle. But instead of having a square at the end, we can put a circle. And that can be a mixing spoon. Okay. Can be good? Alright, let's put some details on top of our chef here. We're going to put these real skinny ovals, and we're going to place them in a way that it's just random. Okay, you can lie them down, you can make them diagonal, you can stand them straight up. We're just going to place them randomly here and there, and basically that's going to represent sprinkles, because our chef, if you haven't guessed it by now, is some kind of pastry. If you guys need time to catch up, you guys can pause it now. Okay, to finish up our picture, if you guys want to, you can put a small oval right below the feet to give it, make it look like there's a shadow there, and then you can go ahead and use your hash lines to add some value to make it look like it's a shadow. And there we have our pastry picture. And here is my question. I'm going to write it on the top. Why can't you ask a pastry for help? Anybody know? Pause it now if you don't want the answer, and I'll give you the answer in 3 seconds. Okay, so the question is, why can't you ask a pastry for help? The answer is, because they don't remember. Oh, first, I'm going to turn my paper sideways. So it's horizontal or landscape rather than vertical or portrait. So I'm making it wide because my picture is going to be of a wider food. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw a diagonal line, and it's not going to be like extreme diagonal. It's going to be a little bit on the flatter side, so not necessarily horizon line or horizontal. We're just going to go slightly diagonal. I'm just going to take my eraser to correct that mistake there. So as you can see, my line is kind of going like that. Okay, so we're just going to make a diagonal line, and then from here we're going to connect the top to the bottom of the line by using a rounded curved line to make it look kind of like a semicircle, sort of, kind of. So there we go. Now we have our half circle, semicircle, or half moon shape. Right, so the next step after we do this, we are going to put a U coming out the back of our semicircle, just like that. Alright. Okay, so if you guys haven't figured out what kind of food this is yet, I'm going to tell you, this is a taco. Alright, so what we want to do is we're going to add some lettuce, and the lettuce is going to just be a couple of wavy lines going in and out here and there on your paper, kind of making it look like leaves. We're just going to put a few. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 oddly shaped lines to make it look like leaves sticking out from our taco. So you guys can go ahead and pause. If you haven't gotten this far, use this time to catch up, because we are moving on. Alright, so the next thing we're going to add, they're going to be semicircles, and these semicircles are going to represent the tomatoes. So we're just going to place just a couple of tomatoes here and there. Doesn't have to be that many. So I have one semicircle here and one semicircle here, which are just curved lines that come out from the taco and out from the lettuce and come back down. So if you need to catch up, you can pause. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put the meat, and the meat is going to be coming over the back and down to the side where the curve is here. Okay, and the meat is actually going to be like really jagged curvy lines. And you're just going to make just these little bumpy lines going back and forth, back and forth. Alright, and that's going to come all the way down to the bottom of the taco shell, just like that. And then finally what we can do is we can put a couple more rounded circles to make more tomatoes on the other side. And we can put a couple more leaf lines to make the lettuce on the other side. Okay, and that is pretty much it for our taco. Now it isn't done yet. Okay, what we're gonna do is we are gonna put an emotion on top of this taco. And what we're going to do that is we're going to put a small U right on the bottom of the taco here, a semicircle right on the bottom. And then we're going to take our eraser and erase the line that's going through our little bump. Okay? You can pause to catch up to here. Okay, so what this is the bottom lip. And we want to put the mouth. So what we're going to do is we are going to put an egg shape right above that U that we just made. We're just going to make a little egg. Just like that. Inside the egg, we're going to put a bump next to another bump, and that's going to be the tongue. See that? And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some hash marks, some lines, to make it look like there's shading inside the mouth. So the mouth is open, like it's talking. Alright, let's put the eyes. The eyes are going to be ovals. So one eye is going to be located right above the mouth. And we're going to make these ovals tall, not lying down, but we're going to make them standing up. So here's one eye, and that's right above the mouth. And then we're going to put the other eye on the side of that. Okay? And inside those eyes, we're going to put two small circles, and we're going to put them close to the bottom of our ovals because it's fixated. The eyes are looking somewhere. Okay? So just go ahead and draw those two circles on the bottom of the ovals, and inside those circles we're going to put a couple more circles for the shine in the eye, and if you want you can shade in the pupils, or should I say the iris. You can shade in the iris like that. And then right above the eyes, we're just going to put small moons, crescent moons shapes, and that's going to be your eyebrows. Okay? And then you can go ahead and pause it if you need this time to catch up, because we're going to move on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the arms, and the arms are going to stick out about 1 inch from the corner of our taco. We're just going to go ahead and put a rounded line sticking out from under the taco, and we're going to estimate under here right next to the mouth. We're going to put another line coming down, and at the end of the line we're going to put an oval. These are the hands. Okay, and we're making the hands like this, so the thumbs have to be facing away from the middle of the body because the hands are like this, yeah? So that means we need to put thumbs, which are just going to be rounded ovals sticking out both sides of our hands. Just like that. And then we're going to get rid of those lines that are going through our thumbs. Okay. So if you need to pause it to catch up there, you can. If not, we're moving on. Alright, so let's add a little bit of detail to the hands. We're going to put a little line coming in. This line here that cuts through the hand that causes the thumb to fold. Right there. We're going to put one line on top of this hand, and then we're going to put another line on top of the other hand. Okay? Now we're going to do the legs. The legs are going to be more in. So one line for the leg is going to come out from the bottom of the mouth, from the lip. We're trying to balance this thing out to make it look like it could be a living food item. So we're going to put the line coming down from the lip, and it's going to go through the hands, just like that. And then we're going to put a big oval to make it look like it's possible that this can actually hold up this. Okay? So we're going to move over slightly, keeping our legs on the inside of the arms. I'm going to put a couple lines for the next leg. And we're not going to bring it down as low as the first leg, because if you're looking at this taco, it's standing at an angle. So that means the feet should be at an angle, because we're looking down at it. So we want to make sure that those feet are doing the same thing. Okay. Alright. So there we have our taco. And it looks like it's pleading, holding its hands out, or it's in surprise or shock. It's standing up. We're going to add one more shape to this picture, and it's going to be a triangle. This triangle is going to be the shape of a Dorito chip. Alright, so on top of this triangle, we're going to put the letter V close to the top of the triangle. And these are going to be the eyebrows. Okay, so we're going to make the eyebrows thicker. Just like that. If you need to pause, you can pause right now. If not, we're moving on. Alright, so underneath the V, we're going to put a couple of semicircles underneath the brow to show that this guy is not very happy. Then we're going to draw a mouth, and his mouth is going to be kind of big. It's going to go right over here, and it's going to be the shape of a hill, and it's just a line coming up and down. So there's his angry mouth. But we're not going to stop there. We are going to start in the middle of our curved line here, and we're going to bring the line down. Okay? And then we're going to connect it back up to the other side of that line. And now his mouth is open. So we're going to go ahead and put a tongue, just like what we did inside the taco, inside this tortilla chip's mouth. Like that. And if you want, you can use your hash lines to create some shading or value inside the mouth. It gives it some depth. Okay, we're going to draw the arms and legs on this guy now. So the first arm is going to be a hill. It's going to be a pretty harsh line. Very fast, almost like you're making an oval, but not completely. Okay? And at the end of that line, we're going to put a circle, because his hands are balled up like a fist, because he's really upset. And then we're going to put a small oval on the side of that ball to make it look like that's his thumb on the side over here. Okay, and then on this side we're going to make this same line, but now we're going to make it come in towards the face. So here's the shoulder, here's the elbow, and here's the wrist, and inside we're going to put a circle just like we have here, and we're going to go ahead and put the oval on the fist to make it look like he has a fist again, like he's walking quickly and angrily out of the frame of the paper. So if you need to catch up with these two hands, you can go ahead and pause it now, because we are moving on. Alright, we're going to do the back leg, which is going to be on the left side of our picture, but it's going to be the tortilla chips right leg. And that's going to come down and back. So it's another line that represents the hip, the knee, and the ankle. And that's going to have an oval connected to it. And then finally, this leg here is going to be shooting straight out, and it's going to have the oval pointing upwards, as if the heel is striking the floor, because this guy can't get away fast enough. You can go ahead and put some hash lines under the foot to pretend that's the bottom of the shoe. And I'm going to put a couple of parentheses lines on the outside of the line, because that gives us more tension on the eyes to make it look like that this thing is really mad. So we have a taco talking to a tortilla chip. Alright, now I'm going to write something here because this is going to be a little scene. And when you write yourself a word bubble or a thought bubble, the first thing you want to do is either draw the idea or write the words in the thought bubble before you draw the thought bubble. Because I know a lot of you guys, well, you want to draw the thought bubble coming out of their head or their mouth as if they're talking. And what ends up happening is you draw a nice square with a nice little triangle for the mouthpiece, but what ends up happening is you don't have enough space in that shape to write what you need to write. So write your words first and then put a box around it and then put the line down coming to the mouth. Okay, so let me show you. So I'm going to write, why don't you want, want, I'm going to come down to, you know, I have this theme going on with my words, they're all capitalized in the beginning. Why don't you want to, and we're going to write in parentheses, taco about it. And then there's the question. Okay, so now that I have my words written out, now I can box them in. Now I don't have to worry about not having enough space for my writing. See that? And then you're going to leave a little opening on the bottom. And then you're going to put yourself a little triangle coming out of the rectangle here to show that the word bubble is coming from this guy. So this guy saying, why don't you want to talk about it? And then this angry guy says, because it's nacho business. Because it's nacho business. So I'm going to go ahead and put my border around my words. Go up at the top. Cut across the top of my tortilla chip. Alright, bring the thought bubble down this way with a little triangle, and there we have our little scene. Why don't you want to talk about it? Because it's not your business. Alright, so if you want, like I said, take your pens. You can do the inking. And then once you're done with your inking, grab your eraser, erase all of the graphite off, and then you can go with your markers, and you can go ahead and color everything in, or even your colored crayons or your colored pencils. Alright, let's move on to one last picture. And this one I'm going to move through pretty quickly. So if you guys want to follow along, pause it whenever you feel like it, okay? Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and outline this using my markers. Then I'm going to take my eraser and go ahead and erase all the graphite off, and then I can color it. Okay, so I finished up my coloring and my outlining as well as my sketch, and I erased everything off with my eraser, and so now it is complete. And this is just a small like parody on the Bachelor show. I've never seen the Bachelor show, but I heard about it, and I just thought it would be funny that the hot dog is selecting his choice of condiment. So, alright, so that's it for today's RTI. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Happy May 1st, May Day. And enjoy your weekend. Have fun with your families, and I'll see you next time.